Kia ora everyone, welcome to the Waitakere Bears Classic for another game here. We've got Ramblers up against Howick. I'll be doing commentary this afternoon. I'm Broden Nucky, the assistant coach for Waitakere Bears, and I'm joined by Steph Teixeira from Western Magpies. How are you going this Arvo?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, it's always a good day on a softball field, so I'm excited for this. Excited to see some good softball.
Yeah, so we've got, obviously, as I said, Ramblers versus Howick going up, so I'll just go through the lineups for you. So with Ramblers in the field, we've got Leah Stockford playing shortstop. Rebecca Fogel will be behind the dish. Tomo Goda is out in centre field. Katrina Nuku is the designated player. Lisa Molden, she's down at third base. Brooke Whiteman's over at first. Alex Taku Bedwell is in left field. Brody Mans is in right field. Nelia Banguna is at second base. I apologise if I've mispronounced that. And Capri Thomas is on the mound. As she delivers the first pitch. It's going to be a ball high. And just quickly running through Howick's lineup. Batting right now is Caitlin Kramer. Next up on deck is Jessica Volk, as that one is taken for a strike, 1-1 the count. Michaela Etheridge, she'll be batting third. Caitlin Sill, she's fourth. Shante Hadding is up next. Then Natasha Taylor, Sky Martin, Hannah Greenaway, Olivia Dixon, and Alan Stachowski. So that is the two lineups for this one. Over on first base, running for Howick, because we are playing fast pitch rules, is Olivia Dixon.
Well, that was a nice pitch.
And that one's going to be popped up. That's out at third base as the catch is taken. They'll throw over to first to try and get the runner, but nothing will happen on the play. So we've got one down here.
You could never go wrong with a pitch in the hands when you got one on her. You know, it's always good to just try to go in on them, even if you're falling behind.
Just a good little jam, gets them popping up.
Always.
All right, so that brings up the second baseman, Jessica Volk. She'll take that first pitch for a ball outside. Just getting signals from her coach. Runner does as well. Here comes the pitch. And she'll go at that bunt, but she knows she probably shouldn't have. It was a little bit up.
Yeah, it's always interesting with a batter whenever you get that sign for bunt. It's always like, all right, I know my job's got to move the runner. But if it's a high one just like that, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, you want to try to get on top of that.
So that's going to make the count 1-1. Here's the pitch. She gets that one, and it's going to stay foul. So that's going to move it to 1-2. We'll be looking to see if she stays with it or if she's going to hit away. And swing and a miss. And that's going to send Jessica Volt back to the dugout. That's going to make it 2 down here in the first inning. That runner's still stuck over on first base, but now batting for Howick, the catcher, Michaela Etheridge. And she's going to hit that one hard, foul down the first baseline.
That's exactly the pitch you want to be looking for with 2 outs. They're going to try to go out on you because they don't want to risk anything being pulled to the left side. So that was good eyes on her part. You know, she went with the outside pitch.
And they come back, and this one's going to be shot out to center field. Tomogoda coming in and takes the catch for the third out. So 3 up, 3 down. Howick unable to score their runner in the first one. We'll move to the bottom of the first. Tied ball game as Ramblers look to get the first run on the board. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about to enter the bottom of the first here. In the top of the first innings, if you weren't with us, Howick were unable to move their run across. Ramblers' gloves able to shut them down. So we're moving into the bottom of the first here with a 0-0 ball game, but obviously Ramblers with their first attempt to score the runs. So for their hitting lineup, leading off will be Leah Stockford. After her is Rebecca Fogel. Then it's Tomo Goda. Katrina Nukunuku is in the 4-hole, followed by Lisa Muldrin. Then it's Brooke Whiteman, followed by Alex Taku Bedwell. Brodie Mans is after that, and then rounding it off is Nelia Fanguna, and she'll be over at first base for this first inning, as we are playing fast pitch rules. And then we'll just quickly run you through defensively for Howick. Doing the pitching is Alia Stachowski. She's pitching to Michaela Etheridge. First base is Hannah Greenaway. At second base is Jessica Volk. Third base is Sky Martin. At shortstop is Shantae Hadding. In left field is Olivia Dixon. Centre field is Caitlin Kramer. And in right field is Natasha Taylor. But now here we are with the first battle. Leading off, Leah Stockford. Then the first pitch from Stachowski is inside for a ball. And she'll try to go there again, but once again just missing, so that's going to make it a 2-0 count.
I think she'll go out on her now. If I was a hitter, I'd be expecting her to be middle out.
All right. Well, yeah.
Yep.
And sure enough, she goes to the outside for a strike. That moves the counts to 2 balls, 1 strike. Stachowski with the pitch. And it's a bunt from Stockford. She gets it down up the first baseline. The throw will get up there. And she is out of first base, but moves the run at a 2.
You can never go wrong with that play because, you know, you did your job. You moved the runner. And at this point, like, you know, you have some strong hitters behind you. So now you just rely on them to just get their job done. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Team player,
of
team
course.
role. So that brings Rebecca Fogel with 1 out, but the runner at 2. First pitch. And that's going to be a strike on the inside half of the plate. Fogel looking over at Coach McAlpine, gets the signal. She's back in here now. Let's see if she's doing anything different or she's looking to hit away. And she'll bunt as well. Goes down third base. Third base with the throw, but it's going to go over the top. The runner's going to come in to score, and Fogel will stay at first base. So Ramblers will jump out to an early lead, 1-0 here, as the bunt puts the pressure on, and they're able to capitalize, moving that runner from 2 to home.
That was some good base running on.
From Nelia Fanguna?
Yeah, that was some good base running. You know, she turned that corner real hard. She was just going 2 bases all the way. You could tell she was ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And so now batting for Ramblers is their number 3 hitter, Tomo Goda, as that first pitch goes ball high. Only 1 out here in the inning so far. And the throw will go down to first base, but it won't get there in time. So Goda now working with a 2-0 count. And Goda will shoot that one straight up in the sky. We've got the first baseman tracking over to take it, but unfortunately not able to get a good track on it, and that one's just going to bounce for a foul.
This wind is, it's always so hard. When the ball goes up, it's always like, man, don't hit it to me, don't hit it to me, because that ball just played games on you.
Starling Park wind is one of a kind, unfortunately. You can play here for 10 plus years and still not get used to it, as that pitch will come in and drop off the plate. So that's going to move it to a 3-1 count. Yeah, there's almost pros and cons to hitting it in the air because it can hold up and become an easy out, or it can swirl around and just be something hideous like this one that's going to pop and it'll drop in for a base hit. As unfortunately, the Howick shortstop, Shante Heading, she lays out trying to take that one and just misses it. Comes off the shoestrings of her glove. So she's going to be slow to get to her feet, but she looks all right. But that does allow the Ramblers to move their runners, and now they've got runners at 1 and 2 with their designated player, Katrina Nukunuku, into bat. And that first pitch, once again, she comes on the inside and she finds that strike.
Katrina's one of those players that when you have her on up to bat with less than 2 outs and you got runners on, you really got to be careful. She has definitely a lot of power to both sides.
It's a lot harder when you've got a hitter that is unpredictable with whether they're pushing or pulling.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how Howick's approaching this from the field. As Katrina takes that one for a ball, so they'll make the count 1-1. And Katrina grounds this one to third base. They'll throw back and they'll get the force play, but then they throw over to first base, and that's going to be an overthrow, which then allows Tomo Goda to move up to third base herself. So while Howick do get the out at third base for the second out of the innings, they then make an error trying to get Katrina over at first. That allows Goda to move up with runners now at 3 and 1. So with 2 outs here, with the runners on 1 and 3, are you looking to get that out at 2 if they go, or what's your thought process?
With the speed of Tomo, it's really hard. You'd almost want to get the out before she gets home, but like I said, her speed is incredible. So it's
and the runner does go.
It's almost like you don't want to risk it. Just get it back to the pitcher. You have Lisa up, and although Lisa is a strong hitter as well, you're just hoping to get an out at this point.
Right. So on that play, it was a ball on the outside, and then the runner does move across to second base. So now runners on 2 and 3. And Lisa will drive this one into right field. It gets through, but they'll throw. It is going to go home. So Ramblers will score Goda on the play. That moves them up to 3-0 as Malden comes up with the RBI single out to right field. So Howick once again in that familiar situation. Runners on 1 and 3, 2 down. Now batting for Ramblers is Brooke Whiteman, the first baseman. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Looked like it was a little bit up and away. Coach McAlpine throwing out a couple of signals, see if he's putting anything in motion here. And Whiteman will drive this one. It's popping over into that right field hole, but it's going to drop in for a foul.
That's just crazy.
Once again, the Starling Park wind just making anyone who's playing on the right side of the field having absolute nightmares. And that one curled away a good 5-10 meters from the second baseman and the right fielder. So good for Whiteman. She gets a second life, but we'll see what she can do with it. And this time she drives it up the middle. Shortstop will lay out for it. And she stops the play and reaches out for the base, but unfortunately it looks like umpire has said that she didn't get there in time. And so that's going to leave it as runners safe at 1 and 2 and a runner scored.
That was definitely a great effort by the shortstop. That's the best that you can hope for in that situation. You gave it your all and you touched the base, but unfortunately, sometimes they just beat you there, but at the same time, it's definitely a tough call.
So with that play scored now, coming into the box for Ramblers with 2 down, the left fielder, Alex Taku-Bedwell. And that first pitch is going to be inside for a ball. And Tucker Beardwell will foul this one down the third baseline. McAlpine turning back the clock there to stop the ground ball. And that moves the count to 1-1. And Statrowski will try the changeup, but unfortunately that's just going to fall off the plate. Interesting to note, Tucker Beardwell is approaching this at-bat with a short-handed batting approach.
That is true. I'm sure in her head she's thinking, choke and poke. She's trying to get anything on the ground, trying to move those runners.
And that pitch will come in, and that'll move the count to 3-1. Sorry, as unfortunately she just can't get that little bit of height that she needs onto it. So now good hitters count here with 2 down. Let's see if Tucker Beardwell takes the green light. And that one's going to be up and away. So that's ball 4. And you can take a walk on that one. Just wanted to make sure from the umpire. never know you walking up early and then suddenly your runners are caught out in the middle of nowhere.
You can never be too sure.
So with that'll load up the bags for Ramblers here in the bottom of the first. And now batting is the right fielder, number 9, Brody Mans. And the first pitch for her is going to be low, and that's going to be a ball.
After seeing, your previous teammate get ahead in the count with those many balls, it's almost like you want to wait for the pitcher to throw you a strike, because if she's struggling, walk is a base hit for you. So.
Yep, that's exactly right. And she does manage to come back with a strike here, but Mines does go in for a swing on it. So that moves the count to 1-1. This time she does make contact. It's a ground ball to the shortstop. Shortstop will throw it to first base in time for the out. So that's going to see Ramblers retired, but not before they score 4 runs here and take a significant lead at the bottom of the first inning. We'll see you soon for the second. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in the top of the second. Ramblers have jumped out to a 4-0 lead here after some impressive discipline and hitting and base running in the bottom of the first. So leading off now for Howick as they're trying to get back on track is the designated player, Caitlin Sill. And she'll take her first pitch for a ball. And over at second base for them in the second innings here of the fast pitch game is their catcher, Michaela Etheridge. And that one's going to come across for a strike. So now we've got a 1-1 count.
Lisa. Always something with Lisa.
Just checking the play. And Sill will get a good piece of this one, but it's just going to curl away. Any other ballpark on any other day, that's probably a great double, if not a triple, down the right field line.
Absolutely.
But Lord knows the Starling Park, and it knocks it away, and that's just nothing but a foul. That moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes here. And that one's going to go off the plate as well. So that's going to be 2-2. still gets a piece of this one. She pops it out towards shortstop. Shortstop's checking out, but she can't get to it. So unfortunately, that ball's going to bobble around, and no one's going to get to it. So Sil will come up with a leadoff single, and that'll allow Howick to have runners on first and second with none down. Now batting for Howick, the shortstop, number 12, Shantae Hadding. And she'll take the first pitch high for a ball. A piece of this one, but once again, going down that right field line, that's just going to curl away, and it's going to drop in for a foul, moving the count to 1-1.
I'd almost want to drop a bunt right here, you know, move those runners, get them in second and third.
That's it. When you unfortunately fall behind quite early, is it more of a mindset of, right, let's just chip into that deficit, or do you feel like it's we've got to try and get this all back in one go?
You know, sometimes it's just reading the fielders, you know. The corners are doing good right now. They're expecting a bunt. But as a hitter, it's just...
And it's a steal, actually.
Oh.
And Lord knows, there you go. So Ramblers are caught napping. And Michaela Etheridge will steal third base with no one at it.
Sorry to see that one coming.
Yes,
That was
sorry to jump in on you, but I don't think anyone saw that coming.
That caught me off guard.
And there you go. So now Howick with runners on 1 and 3. And this pitch will go high. So that will be ball 4, and now we'll load up the bags. So that still doesn't do too much damage, but maybe just in the back of Ramblers' minds now. They don't know what to expect as time's called. And they'll come in for a chat with loaded bags and none down, and batting for Howick is number 5, their right fielder, Natasha Taylor.
Yeah, at this point, you know, you wanna talk to your pitcher. You want to tell them, you know, settle down. You know, you have to have them think that, you know, that you have their back all the time, and, you know, just throw the ball in there, and that she has to trust that her defense has her back. And
that's it. A lot of the time, a lot of people think that the pitchers are just going like, oh, I've just got to strike out everyone, but that's not really necessarily the case. If you can just trust your field and get the outs, it's the same job.
Yep.
And she gets a first pitch strike there. And that one's going to be fouled off deep into the left and well over the fence. So we're going to need a new ball into the game. But Thomas jumps out to an early 0-2 lead here. So we'll see if Taylor can respond.
So we have the infielders in on this one, so you know that they want to get the play at home. They want to try to stop the runs.
And that one's going to be hit hard to the third base. Malden unable to take it, but she deflects it in a way that her shortstop able to back her up. So they're able to get the tag play over at third base, but that does allow the run to score. So Howard chipped into this deficit, and now it's 4-1 in favor of the Ramblers, but only 1 down, and runners still at second and first.
And that's a good heads-up play by Leah, you know, always being there. Even though the ball wasn't hit to her, she went in, she was going to go back up. Lisa Malden, and she was able to get that out, so that's good.
And the first pitch to Sky Martin is going to be a ball high. On deck for Waitakere is their first baseman, Hannah Greenaway. As that pitch is also taken for a ball, so she's got a good hitters count here now, 2-0. And sure enough, she hits it, but she looks like it's a tag and the out. So a great double play there from second baseman Nelia Fanguna, and she's able to field the ground ball, makes the tag on the runner going to second, and then throws over to first for the nice, easy 4-3 double play. So that ends it. Ramblers now will look to try and get that run back. We'll see you for the bottom of the second.
next big thing for Easton Fast Pitch has arrived. The Ghost has revolutionary double-barrel technology with 2 full-length barrels constructed together that essentially eliminates all vibration. The collision between the outer and inner barrel.
Kia ora everyone, welcome back, bottom of the second here. Ramblers have their runner at 2, and leading off for them is the 9-hole hitter, Nelia Whanguna. And she'll show for a bunt on that one, but she misses it. But the umpire sees she goes, and that's going to be a strike. And this time Whanguna gets it down. First baseman's going to field the bunt. She throws up to first, but it's going to be safe as Whanguna manages to run it out. Shows incredible speed up the line, and she's gone from just turning a double play to getting a bunt single. Doesn't get much better for 2 minutes of softball.
That was actually a good bunt too. It bounced right on the plate, and it kind of bounced like by the plate, by the turf, so it had that much, it was able to slow down right before it got to the first baseman's hand, so that's good. That was a good bunt.
And also on that play, the runner from second does move over to third. So now leadoff hitter Leah Stockford's batting with runners on 1 and 3 and none down, and she takes that first pitch for a ball. Howick catcher Michaela Etheridge just talking with the umpire there, trying to get a gauge on the zone. Any way to help out your pitcher as you can. And that's going to be a free base for Whanguna, and she moves into second. And now Ramblers working with runners on 2 and 3. The count is 1 and 1 on Stockford at the plate, none down. Stockford will hit this one, but it's going to be a foul going over the fence. So she stays in here. But the count is now 1 and 2. Be interested to see what her approach will be, whether she's just going to look to, what'd you say, choke and poke?
Yeah, choke and poke.
Or
yeah, it seems like that's what she's doing. She choked up on the bat, so.
And that's going to hurt.
Oh, she definitely poked it.
Yep, and she managed to poke herself as well, as unfortunately the foul will hit her square in the leg. She's just going to walk this one off, have a talk to her coach. Looked like it got her in the shin as it bounced off the turf, and that's never a fun time.
Never fun at all.
So she steps back into the box after that unfortunate event. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, and the changeup will get her. Great pitch from Stachowski, and Stockford will head back to the dugout with runners at 2 and 3, 1 down.
That was actually a great pitch sequence because, you had her, thinking that she was coming in the whole time, and then just to get her off balance with that changeup, that's textbook right there.
I mean, as a hitter, you got to hate those. You just wobbly knee dance, and all you can do is walk back to the dugout. That brings up Rebecca Fogel as she pops out, and unfortunately, the second baseman is unable to hold on to that pop fly. So Fogel will get up to first base on the error, and that will load up the bags with dangerous hitter Tomoko Golda now stepping into the box with 1 down.
Seemed like that ball kind of just spun out of her glove. She was trying to track it with the wind, and it just got the best of her.
Golda takes the first pitch for a strike. And she'll foul this one off. Coach McAlpine showing a little bit of range. And that moves the count to 0 and 2. Interesting to see how it doesn't look like they're playing 2 in. They actually look like they're giving her a bit of space to work with here.
Yeah, it seems like they're playing her normal besides third. Third is ready to crash, but you have the first baseman back, so that's interesting.
And Stachowski will try to go to that changeup. Golda's not having a bar of it. And that moves the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Golda will take a hack at that one, but it's going to be a big foul down the left field line. So the count remains 1-2. On deck for Ramblers, not making life any easier for Howick, is the designated player, Katrina Nukunuku.
Be interesting to see if she goes outside on her on this one. She's been throwing all in, so let's see if she'll stays in.
And she stays in. Unfortunately, that one's going to bounce to the plate, and Tomo lets that one go aside. So it's going to move the count to 2-2. And once again, staying in there, but this time she goes high and can't quite find the zone. So now she's working with the full count with loaded bags and one down. And the payoff is going to be chopped at by Goda. She gets it over, and the catch is made by the second baseman, who then throws it into home plate, stopping that runner at 3 from coming in. So that's going to make it loaded bags, 2 down.
That was a good job on the run on third base to make it act like she was going, because you always want to draw that throw just in case it's an overthrow and get that extra run in. So that was a good job on the runner on third.
So it looks like Ramblers are just going to enforce the 2 down catcher rule, which allows them to bring Tomo Goda in to run for Rebecca Fogel, which is not a bad swap, I'd say. No offense to Rebecca, but Tomo was pretty quick, and now she's over on first base with Katrina batting. And she'll take that first one for a ball inside.
This is the kind of batter you'd want up to bat, you know, with bases loaded to get those runs in. You know, I know her team has a lot of faith in her, a lot of trust in her, so we should see how this goes.
That's it. When you think of the Ramblers Premier Women's Team, you pretty much think of Katrina. I mean, she's been there for so long now, and she's been consistently such a big part of their lineup, both hitting and fielding. So,
and you can tell just how much she's respected by all players, really.
And she gets a piece of this one out to center field. Center field's tracking and will make the catch. So unfortunately, Ramblers unable to capitalize on the loaded bags that they had there, but they still remain in the lead as we'll move on with for Howick trying to get a reply. We'll see you back here real soon.
The next big thing for Easton Fast Pitch has arrived. The Ghost has revolutionary double barrel technology with 2 full-length barrels constructed together that essentially eliminates all vibration. The collision between the outer and inner barrel creates an explosive sound unlike anything you've heard before. The softer outer barrel has the lowest compression in the game for maximum performance right out of the wrapper.
Kia ora everyone, welcome back. Top of the third here, Ramblers out in front, 4-1. And Howick now with a big chance to score as they get to start the inning with a runner on 3. And leading off for them here is number 7, their pitcher, Caprier Thomas. So let's see if she can help herself out. No it's not. I completely muddled up the lineups. So don't listen to me. But it is their number 9 hitter, Olivia Dixon, who plays left field, actually. Caprier Thomas is the Ramblers pitcher, and she gets that one in there for a strike. The only thing I did get right on that play is Howick's got a runner at 3. And that one from Thomas is just going to be a little bit low.
So it's interesting. Can't talk right now with this win.
Don't worry, I feel you.
It's interesting to see that, although Ramblers are up with a couple runs, they're playing in on this batter. They want to get this out if they can. So I think that's good. You always want to be safe. You always want to try to get the lead runner out, but I think it's good that they have their infield in, wanting to get that out at home.
And Thomas now with the payoff pitch on a full count. And unfortunately she throws that one high. And the runner is having and she's going to go for it, and she'll score. And we've got a topple as well. It's all going on. So a little bit of an odd one on that one. The runner took about 4 steps away from third base there looking on the pass ball, but didn't seem to make any interest on it. And then once the throw came in to look up for a hot box, she just managed to get in untouched. So Howick do score on that, and they'll move the score to 4-2. And now they've got a runner at 1 with none down. So that'll see batting for Howick now, their number 9 hitter, Olivia Dixon, because as I said, I got everything wrong in that last one. And that last batter was Hannah Greenaway. So this time, let's see what Dixon can do. And she drops the bunt down. The pitcher's going to take it. Thomas will throw over to first, but it's an overthrow, which is going to allow the runner at second to move up to third base safely. So Howick coming out with a bit of pressure on the Ramblers, and they're able to make it work. And Ramblers will call a timeout to try and settle the nerves.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say this, usually when you have a runner, in your scoring position and you have the opportunity to bunt, you almost want to bunt it to the pitcher, because you see most pitchers, when they get dealt with that kind of adversity, sometimes, it ends in that. You see an overthrow, you see they start thinking too much. That's why, you always don't want to put the ball in between the corner's hands, because, they practice doing it so much and, they're so confident in it that in that situation you almost want to try to get it to the pitcher to see how, how it works out. And sure enough, sometimes you get that option. Other times you get a successful, out. But at the same time, that's where you kind of want to get it, try to get them to field the play and make it.
That's it. I mean, they're already dealing with enough pressure.
Exactly.
And then suddenly, now I've got to field a ball and make a play. And so Howick are able to capitalize. They've now got runners on 1 and 3, none down here in the top of the third. First pitch from Thomas on this one to the leadoff hitter for Howick, Caitlin Kramer. And it's going to be a ball. Kramer gets this one. She drives it out to center field. Goda's not able to make the catch, but she does get around behind it to stop that runner from advancing at second base. But in the same time, Howick get another run across, moving the score to 4-3. Still in favor of Ramblers, but none down, and runners on 1 and 2.
If you noticed with her hit, she kept more of a level swing approach where she tried to get on top of that ball, and it worked in her favor. You want those line drives, because those line drives, can't always get those. So I think that was definitely a good swing on her part.
There we'll see Jessica Volk batting for Howick. She pops this one up. Goda comes chasing in from center field and makes the catch. So Ramblers get their first out of the innings here. And they've got runners on 1 and 2 still. And that'll bring up the catcher, Michaela Etheridge. And she'll take that first pitch for a ball low. And once again, that one's going to drop in low as well. So Thomas now behind as the count goes to 2 balls, no strikes in favor of Etheridge. And that one's going to be outside. So now 3-0. It'll be interesting to see if Etheridge gets the green light here. A lot of momentum in Howick's favor right now. Okay.
Okay.
That's a strike. Sorry, it was just really, really late call from the umpire. And with all this Starling Park wind, you can't really hear him call it. So we just had to wait. And sure enough, it's a 3-1 now. This time, Etheridge sees one she drives it, but it's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop gets the out of 2, and then the throw over to 1 gets the double play, and Ramblers will get out of the inning, keeping their lead intact, but not before Howick can put 2 runs across. We'll see you for the bottom of the innings.
Bats are made for the way you play, plain and simple. We've got a bat designed to work for you when it counts. Game time. With 22% stronger carbon fibers, the Paraflex composite barrel allows for even more precise weight distribution on the CF9 than ever before. We can put the weight closer to the handle for slappers, distribute it evenly along the barrel for contact hitters, or toward the end cap for power hitters. You should never have to settle for a bat designed for the masses. By building with this stronger composite, we can also use fewer materials. This makes for a lighter swinging bat with a Texas-sized sweet spot.
Kia ora everyone, welcome back here. Moving into bottom of the 3rd innings now. Ramblers will look to try and rebuild their lead after giving up 2 runs in the top of the innings. And they'll have a good chance to do so, as it's their turn to have a runner at 3rd base thanks to these fast pitch rules that we're running. And doing the hitting for them at the moment is Lisa Molden. And she'll take that first pitch outside for a ball. A lot of options with a lefty in the box in these situations. You can squeeze, slap, just straight hit.
Yeah, and the good thing about Lisa is she can do all that, you know?
And this time she'll look to hit, and it's going to be a foul ball sailing down the left field line. So that's going to move the count to 1-1.
I'd almost keep working away on her, you know? She's a good lefty pull hitter. She likes those inside pitches, so I'd almost want to stay out on her. But she's also good with the opposite side. So with these hitters, it's, you know, 50-50.
Yeah, dangerous. And the pitch does come, and it's going to be way outside. So that's going to move the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. On deck for the Ramblers at the moment is their first baseman, Brooke Whiteman. And then after that in the hole is left fielder, Alex Tucker-Bedwell. As that one's taken for a ball as well. So now Lisa Muldren with a 3-1 count.
You can tell she has the green light here. She's just ready. She's ready to find her pitch.
Let's see if she gets it. Here comes the pitch from Stachowski. And it's up. And she was hungry.
Those pinatas, Lisa, those pinatas,
She took a nibble.
You know,
she probably shouldn't have.
Me and Lisa, well, she played with the Magpies last season, so we had this thing where those high pitches, you know, we just love swinging at them, and we call them pinatas. So I can't wait to give her, you know, an earful after this game.
And now she gets the ground ball over to the shortstop. It's going to be enough of a slow roller that the run scores, but she's able to advance to second base on the overthrow. As once again, the errors just haunting both sides here. And on that play, Lisa able to score a run and get herself to second base.
That was good, though. She waited back on it, you know. We got another ball on the field. How about that? Let's mix that in with the wind. But, you know, she did good waiting back on that changeup. You know, that's what you want. You know, even though, you know, it turned into her favor, she got a double out of it, but she brought the runner in as well, so that's what we want.
So now batting for Ramblers and taking that pitch for a ball is the first baseman, Brooke Whiteman. Ramblers pushing their lead out to 5-3 here in the bottom of the third innings. That pitch from Stachowski is a strike. Manages to claw it back, 1-1. And they'll go up and away, but unfortunately it's missing, so that's going to move the count to 2 balls, 1 strike.
What's interesting to see here is that, she's going out on her, but we see the right fielder in, And we saw her last time get some good hits on that side. They just curled foul, so it should be interesting to see, how she goes with this pitch. Oh.
And that one's going to be hacked away for a foul down the right field line, moving the count to 2-2. And she gets just enough on this to drop it into left field. The runner's going to be sent home. The throw's coming in. And the tag is made at the plate. Great play there. Great throw from the left fielder, Olivia Dixon. And it's able to get into Etheridge, who gets the tag down onto Lisa Muldren. And she can't quite believe that she got done at the plate.
Yeah, that was a good throw by the left fielder. Lisa also did good on that part with that, hook slide. That's what you want to do in that situation. You want to try to get away from the ball. So that was a good slide on her part.
Unfortunately, it isn't out. So that'll mean now that into bat for the Ramblers is their left fielder, Alex Tuckey-Bedwell. But on that last play, Brooke Whiteman did manage to move up to second base with all the action happening at home plate. This time, Tucker-Bedwell, she'll ground to the pitcher. Pitcher will throw over to first, and the out is made. So that's going to make it 2 down here, but Ramblers do get another runner up to third base, and they'll be looking to capitalize and get this one home as well before the inning's done. Looking to hopefully do so will be their right fielder, Brody Munns. And she'll be swinging at the first one, but she doesn't quite make contact, and that's going to be a strike.
Whoa. That right there as a runner is what you want to be looking for. That missed throw to the pitcher.
And Stachowski will get her swinging again. Now the count's 0-2. On deck for Ramblers at the moment is their 9-hole hitter, Nelia Fanguna. And this time, Mons does enough to foul it off. Count remains 0-2. And Stachowski with a nice pitch on the outside. Etheridge tried to frame it, but umpire's not interested. So that's going to make the count 2-2.
Yeah, that was definitely a good job by both the catcher and the pitcher on that one. The catcher framed that really well, and that was a good placement pitch. So
see if she goes there again. And she does and gets the swinging strike. So that'll end the innings, but not before Ramblers do claw one back. So as we move now to the top of the fourth, it's 5-3 here in favor of the Mount Albert Club. We'll catch you soon. Good everyone, welcome back to the Waitakere Beers Classic. Here with Ramblers versus Howick. Sorry, I've got half a bloody bacon egg roll in my mouth. Tell you what, if you haven't had something to eat today, come down to Starling Park. They've got some great bacon egg rolls and sausages going on. As we look at the first pitch to number 20 for Howick, their 4-hole hitter in the DP, Caitlin Sill is fouled off.
That was interesting to start her off with a changeup. You know, it's almost like she's going to come up here, be aggressive, try to get that runner in. So that was good on the pitcher's part, starting off with a changeup.
And that one's going to bounce in, so that's going to be first ball of the at-bat, 1-1. This time, though, Sill will be hacking, but she'll hack it down third baseline for a foul. And I think Fergus McAlpine here has picked up on something that I picked up on, and that I think the runner is supposed to be over at first base, because this is the top of the fourth inning, not the bottom of the third. And the way fast pitch works is that you should probably be over there. So tip of the hat to Coach McAlpine. He's picked up on it, and now he's put Howick at a wee bit of a deficit. She's now got to get a couple of extra bases on her before she can cross home plate.
Got to give credit to the coach, though, for trying to sneak that one in there.
Oh, yeah, that's a sneaky play. I'll tip the hat to that, too. As that pitch goes inside onto Sill, so that's going to move the count to 2-2. And Sill drives this one out to left field. It's going to go over the top of the left fielder's glove. So that's going to get the runner moving down to third base. And there, she was held by the coach, but she's going to go herself. And she'll get there. So Michaela Etheridge, she stole third base on her first time on the pass. And this time tells her coach, nah, I'm all good, mate. I've got the speed. I'm going home. And she'll get there.
You know, sometimes when you're running those bases, you just get so much adrenaline, like you can conquer the world, and she showed that she did have that attitude right there, so props to her. You know, you want to be that aggressive runner. Good job on her.
And maybe once again just catching Ramblers off guard. They just looked at her and she crossed the home plate. So there you go. So Howick push this one back to 5-4, still in favor of the Ramblers. Now batting for Howick is their shortstop, Shantae Hadding, with none down and a runner at second base. And she drops down the bunt. It's a great bunt down the third base line. Mullen's going to come out throwing, but it's going to be an error. And that's going to allow the runner to score. It looks like it actually hit Hadding on the arm on the play. So we're going to probably get a timeout here just to check on it, as she is rubbing it quite furiously.
Yeah, that one's going to bruise for sure.
Yeah, that's always a sore one. So Coach Katrina Nukunuku's now out here having a chat. Could possibly be making a change as the umpires are going to the slips.
Almost think she's going to make a pitching change, yep.
Looks like it. And it looks like, I don't want to say it before I jinx it. No, sure enough, it's going to be number 10, Tyler Morrison, coming in to do some relief work, with the scores now tied at 5-all. And none down with that runner at 1. So we'll see if Morrison can shut the door here and give Ramblers a chance to reestablish themselves a lead.
You almost got to give the credit to Howick. You know, even though they're in 5th inning, correct?
Yeah.
They're still fourth.
Yeah.
They're still going into, going through the textbook, laying down the bunt, no matter if they're behind. Sometimes just getting the ball down, you don't know what's going to happen. So you almost want to get the ball down and leave it in the fielder's hands to make all the plays and stuff. So good on them for going from the start and just building their way up and making a comeback.
That's it, because at the end of the day, you can't score runs if you're not putting the ball in play.
No.
So any way you can and putting pressure on.
Exactly, and sometimes the best way to do it is to start from the top, start from the first page and just work your way through.
That's right. So Morrison will come in now. She's got a bit more pace on her, I'd say, than what Caprice Thomas was working with. And she also has quite a good rise ball on her. So we'll have to see if the Howick batters adjust or if they're just going to look to make more contact and just keep putting the ball in play and putting the pressure on the Ramblers field. The first Howick hitter to get a challenge from Morrison will be the right fielder, Natasha Taylor. And sure enough, the bunt's put down against Morrison. Morrison will field it herself, throws over the first, but the error is made as it's an overthrow. That allows the runner to move down to third base. And that's where it'll stand. So, Taylor comes up with the bunt on the first pitch. Overthrow to first base allows the runner to move on, and we've now got Howick with runners at 3-1, none down, and looking to take the lead.
Yeah, so it seems like Howick has found a loophole. They see that they're getting all the bunts down and Ramblers are having trouble fielding it, so they're going to keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore.
So that brings up Sky Martin, and she squares as well, but the throw is going to be over to third base as they'll hold the runner there. But meanwhile, over from first to second, Taylor will be stealing, and that allows them to get runners on 2 and 3. And that first pitch was a ball on the third baseman, Martin. That time she comes up hacking, but she'll foul it down the first baseline. Coach just giving her some advice. Say hit the ball is probably a good one.
That's the best one you can get.
And Morrison will try to get the bottom of the zone, but she doesn't quite clip it.
Yeah, you could tell she was really expecting, that pitch to be called, which that was a pretty good pitch right at the knees. As a pitcher, I know how frustrating that can be.
That's it. So unfortunately, she doesn't get it, and that will then put the count in favor of Martin, 2-1. Martin will swing at that one, and we're back to 2 and 2. And Martin gets a piece of it. She grounds it to the pitcher. Morrison's going to throw, but the throw is off, and that allows the runner to score from third as she aggressively jumps on that bouncing play. And Howick will jump out to a lead, 6-5.
Yeah, you can tell just with that play, it just seemed like everything was rushed when it didn't have to be. It's kind of sometimes it all just comes down to just slowing the game down yourself. It's already fast enough, especially for this tournament. So it's just about slowing the game down and just.
And once again, as you talked about previously, it was almost perfect in the fact that it's hit to as the throw goes over to second, and it's a horrible throw, which allows Howick to score another one, 7-5. But Morrison, she's just come into the game, and suddenly she's got a runner at 3, and then the ball's hit to her. The pressure's all on her.
Yeah.
And that's probably not the situation you want to be in. And now she's looking at having given up 2 runs early on in this inning as Howick's jumped out to a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, I think it's a smart call right now to just get everybody together, slow the game down. Right now, momentum is on Howick's side, so you just got to break it up and just start from scratch right here.
That's it. And in saying that, though, it's not momentum that's been built up by big hits and home runs and drives. It's just scrappy base running and putting contact on the ball and putting pressure on Ramblers. And right now, it's working. As the first pitch to first baseman Hannah Greenaway is going to be down. Ramblers are asking for a swing, but the first baseman umpire is probably just as confused as we are, and that's going to be remaining a ball. And Morrison is on the line that time, and she gets the count back to 1-1. Ooh, and that's gonna hurt, as the deflected foul ball is going to hit the bare hand, I believe, of the catcher Rebecca Fogel. She's shaking it off though. Just getting checked on by teammate and first baseman Brooke Whiteman, but she appears to be okay. Count will remain at 2-2. 7-4. Sorry, apologies. Apparently my math is just as bad as my reading, and it's actually 7-4 in favour of Howick. So they've actually built themselves a pretty decent lead here. 3 runs is nothing to be laughed at. And unfortunately for Greenaway on that one, she tried the bunt on the 3rd strike and it didn't come off, so she's going to be out of there.
Yeah, so as a hitter, you know, even if your coach makes the mistake of giving you the bunt sign, you should know on 2 strikes, you usually don't want to bunt, because most of the time, if the pitcher sees that, she's just going to try to throw it where you can foul it off, so it's an automatic out anyway.
And that's exactly the result that Morrison gets. So now Howick's still working with a runner at 2. And batting for Howick now, as she sees that first pitch for a strike, is the number 9 hitter, the left fielder, Olivia Dixon.
Sometimes as a pitcher, that's all you need, you know. That out before was, it'd be big on Tyler's part, you know. Now she's going into this batter confident, and just like that, she gets 2 strikes, you know. It's all about timing and how everything works out, but good on her for just feeding off of that.
So as Dixon waved at that drop ball, unfortunately couldn't make any contact with her. Now she's in the hole 0-2. Let's see if Morrison comes in again. But Dixon will make contact. She grounds out to the second baseman, and that'll be an out. And the pop over to first is good. But that does allow Howick to move the runner up to 3rd. So now with 2 down, they're back at the top of their order. And center fielder Caitlin Kramer is up, looking to come up clutch with 2 down and a runner at 3. And Morrison gets his swinging on the first pitch. Oh, another dropped bobble, and the runner's just gonna chill. Do absolutely nothing with it, but that's absolutely fine. And that one from Morrison's going to stay high, so that'll move the count to 1-1. Kramer gets a good piece on that one, but she'll foul it off. Now she's in the hole. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Morrison looking to get out of this inning after Howick managed to put 2 runs on it. Kramer obviously looking to keep the rally going and score this runner from 3rd. And Morrison thought she had it. Was walking over to the dugout. Thought that down and away was enough to clip the plate, but gets the big nope and she walks back to the mound. So let's see if she can do it this time. She's definitely not walking off on that one as it bounces to the plate. But that'll load up the count now. So with 3 balls and 2 strikes, Howick's leadoff hitter, Caitlin Kramer, has a chance to bring that runner in or apply more pressure with an extra runner. Let's see what she can do.
Nice. And
it's a great pitch from Morrison to end the inning. So Howick are retired, but not before they score 2 runs and push themselves out to a 7-4 lead here. And we'll move into the bottom of the 4th innings. Catch you soon. All good, brother. Kia ora, everyone. Welcome back. Bottom of the fourth here at the Waitakere Bears Classic. Howick has jumped out to a 7-4 lead over Ramblers here. And Ramblers now with the chance to reply. And as that first pitch goes in for a strike, they've got their number 9 hitter, Nelia Whanguna, at the plate. And doing the running for them over at first base is Brody Mons, the right fielder. And Whanguna showed bunt, but she didn't like it, and she stayed away, and she'll get the ball called on it, so that's going to make it 1-1. And again, Whanguna will show bunt, but she won't commit. Howard Corner's jumping up for it, but right now, no need to, as it goes to 2-1.
Yeah, I think it's smart on Ramblers' part, to try to get something happening right now.
Same thing Howick's been doing, just putting contact on the ball, putting pressure on. As Whanguna will take a swing at that one, and unfortunately makes absolutely no contact with it, so that moves the count to 2-2. On deck for the Ramblers is their leadoff hitter, Leah Stockford. Behind her, Rebecca Fogel. Stachowski tries a change-up, but that one hangs a little bit high. Just a little bit. Makes the count full, 3-2, with none down here. And she gets a piece of that one, hits it up to the first baseman. First baseman deflects it off her glove, but the second baseman there's for the backup. Pops it back to her mate over at first base and gets the out. But Ramblers will move their runner up to 2 on the play. So with 1 out now, Ramblers back at the top of their order, which means their shortstop, Leah Stockford, is in the box. And she'll take that first one high for a ball. And Stockford reaching out to try and get a piece of that one, but she'll foul it off. Moves the count to 1-1. And Stockford will be retired on that one. So now we've got 2 down. And into bat for the Ramblers, their catcher, number 22, Rebecca Fogel. And she'll take a hack at the first one and fouls it off straight backwards.
It was interesting to see how the past 2 batters, she was just going all out on them, and she was getting the out, so it was really interesting to see that she came in on this hitter right here. So that's it's a change.
Also found it very interesting. She's been a lot more aggressive now that Howick have got this lead. She's sort of just putting the pressure once again on Ramblers to come at them. So she's at a 1-1 count right now. Let's see if she looks to try and put the pressure on here. And sure enough, she does. And this one's popped out to center field, and it's going to be an easy catch. So Ramblers unable to make anything in that innings, and Howick will now go into the top of the 5th, holding a 7-4 lead. We'll catch you in a sec.
next big thing for Easton Fast Pitch has arrived. The Ghost has revolutionary double-barrel technology with 2 full-length barrels constructed together that essentially eliminates all vibration. The collision between the outer and inner barrel creates an explosive sound unlike anything you've heard before. The softer outer barrel has the lowest compression in the game for maximum performance right out of the wrapper. The Ghost. Are you ready to make the switch?
And welcome back, everyone. As we move into top of the 5th now, Howick holding on to a 7-4 lead so far. In this inning, they get the runner at 2. And batting for them is their 2-hole hitter, Jessica Volk, as she takes a swing at Morrison's first pitch. And Volk will take a swing at that one as well. Unable to make contact, so now Morrison well ahead, 0-2 the count.
Yep, Howick being aggressive here, trying to make something happen again with something on the floor, in the air.
And they'll try the bunt on the 3rd strike once again. Coach trying to catch them napping, but it's only hurting themselves at the moment. So Howick now with 1 down after Volk's attempted bunt on the 3rd strike is unsuccessful.
That's interesting. It's really interesting.
You might see it maybe happen once in a game every once in a while, but for the same team to try it twice in one game is, as you say, it's interesting. Perhaps with a lead they feel like they can try those things a little bit more,
Right.
but just have to wait and see. So that'll bring in, they've actually got a pinch hitter here for the catcher, Michaela Etheridge, and doing the pinch hitting will be number 8, Jordan Murray. And Murray's going to take that first pitch for a ball inside. Maybe the coach of the Howick team punishing Etheridge after she ran home on her last trip out. Managed to get home despite her coach telling her to stop. But we'll just have to wait and see as Murray gets called up on a strike for that one. Moves the count to 1-1. And Murray gets a piece of that one. She hits it over to the shortstop. Shortstop throws over to first base. And the out will be made, so Stockford manages to keep that one shut up. And she'll get the out over at first. But Howick moves up the runner on the play. So now with 2 down and that runner at 3. Batting for Howick is the designated player, Caitlin Sill. And that first pitch will be in there for a strike. And that one looked just as good, but must have been just a little bit off the plate. And Sill will move it back to a 1-1.
Yeah, she's just living on that outside corner right now.
Mm.
Doesn't want anything close to the batter.
And she does come inside, but it's going to be well low. So Sill now gets a little bit of hit in the count. 2-1. And Sill will get a piece of this one, but she flies it out to first baseman Brooke Whiteman. Whiteman's there for the easy take. And that'll end the top half of the 5th. Howick still holding on to a 7-4 lead. Ramblers looking to bring their one back, and they'll be putting a runner on it too to try and do it. We'll catch you in a bit. Welcome back, everyone. Bottom of the 5th innings here. Ramblers looking to cut into this deficit as Howick leads the game 7-4. We've got a pretty good batter to do it at the moment with Tomo Goda in the box. Although that first pitch will be a dead ball after she tries the bunt and it drops off onto her leg.
Yeah, sometimes you'll try anything to get that ball down, you know? Even if it's coming right at you, you just put the bat there.
And this time she gets it, but it's going to stay foul. So now go to behind in the count, 0-2. On deck for the Ramblers is the designated player, Katrina Nukunuku. Behind her is Lisa Muldrin. And Stachowski gets Goda looking. And that is a big first out of the innings here for Howick. As they get one of those danger bats in the Ramblers lineup out of there. Although I'm saying that it doesn't get much easier. And stepping into the box now is designated player Katrina Nukunuku. And she'll throw a first pitch strike. And she'll try to go back on that inside, but it's a little bit low, so that'll even the count at 1-1. And that one will sail high. Nukunuku tilted the bat, maybe looking a little bit at it, but knows better to stay off those pinatas as I've been taught that they're called, so she'll stay away from it.
They're always so tempting. So tempting.
But she will go with this one. She hits it out to the right field. Right field is tracking and makes a great catch. However, it is right over in that right field corner, so that does allow the runner to move up to 3. But nonetheless, Howick making some great plays and holding on to this lead.
Yeah, that was a good job on Howick's outfield with just picking up the wind and just playing it.
So now with 2 down and that runner finally moved up to third base, stepping in to bat for the Ramblers, their 5-hole hitter, the third baseman, Lisa Muldrin. And she hacks to the first one. It's sailing out to the left field. Left field is tracking across. And she can't make the catch, and it's going to be called a foul. So Howick a little bit lucky there, but Ramblers a little bit lucky the catch wasn't made, and everyone's just going to come back and reset. Stachowski is questioning something. I'm not quite sure. Maybe she wants a match ball because that one's gone away. And the curious case of who owes a match ball is being discussed, and it looks like Ramblers is going to give one. If it's yellow and round, it'll probably work. So after all that action, the count is simply 1 strike, no balls. And Muldrin gets a piece on this one, and that's going to be fair down the line. She has ripped that right down to the right field corner. The right fielder is only just getting to the ball now as Muldrin's already at third. They could look to send her, and they will. It's going to be a play at the plate, and it won't be in time as Muldrin hits an inside the park home run to reduce that deficit to 6-7.
Yeah, that low and inside, she was just able to get the barrel on in. That ball just took a wicked little curve right over the base, able to stay fair. So that was good job on Lisa's part.
And that hit was done with 2 outs, so a good piece of clutch hitting there from Muldrin, as Ramblers now reduce the deficit to 6-7. And batting for them now is their first baseman, Brooke Whiteman. And Whiteman gets a piece on this one. Statrowski takes it from the mound, and she'll throw it over to first base to retire the side, but not before Muldrin gets Ramblers back into this one with an inside the park home run, scoring 2 runs, making the game 7-6 in Howick's favor. We'll catch you soon. Kia ora everyone, welcome back. Here in the bottom of the 5th innings here, Howick will be looking to rebuild a bit of that lead that they've gotten.
Top of the 6th.
Oh, top of the 6th. Confusion everywhere as Howick gets their runner up to third base this time, which is probably a good promotion considering last time they tried to get a runner to 3, they had her sent to 1. So that means top of the 6th now. Howick does have the lead 7-6, and they'll be looking to build on it now, especially with that runner at 3. And hoping to do some damage for them is their shortstop, number 12, Shantae Hadding. And that one's going to sail past for a ball, so that's going to even the count, 1-1. And they'll be fouled off by Hadding. So now the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So we see the Ramblers D again doing the safe option where trying to keep the ball in front and letting that runner stay at third, not getting them to home.
And she'll hold the bat. And Morrison can't quite believe it. Even the batter was starting to walk back to the dugout.
Yeah,
but
I
after
know about
checking
that.
the swing, and I can happily say checking the swing, it'll be called no swing. And so she gets to stay in there with the count at 2-2.
As a player, you just can't help but laugh, you know, it's just...
And it's gonna hurt as Hadding comes up clutch with the hit. And she'll get to first base on it. It's all a bit over the place. But Hadding makes it hurt as she drives that one into right field, scores the run, and even gets herself at first base. So Howick pushed their lead back out to 8-6. And with none down, now have a runner at 1 to continue looking to score some more. Those ones got to hurt the most for a pitcher.
Yeah, of course, you know, it's... You probably have her saying every little thing right now in her head, just saying, like, it's just so frustrating, but I mean, it's part of the game.
Exactly. It happens to everyone.
Yeah.
On both sides of it. So we'll see how Morrison responds here. And so far, she's just not quite feeling it. She's fallen behind in the count 2-0. And she didn't like that last one. She's talking to the umpire about it. But sure enough, catcher knows what to do. Sends her away. She's got it handled. So Morrison just showing a couple of signs of frustration here. There you go. She comes back with a bit of whip on it, and she gets her first strike of this at-bat on the right fielder for Howick, number 5, Natasha Taylor. Taylor will take a hack at that one, but she shoots it straight up into the netting, and that's going to be a foul. So now the count 2-2.
It's a good job on Tyler, just coming back, you know, from that, all that frustration. It's a good stop.
She'll try to throw a drop in there, but it'll hit the dirt. But as Tex just said there, great block from Fogel to keep it in front of it with that runner at 1. Obviously looking to move up and keep this rally going. So it's a full count now. Here comes the payoff from Morrison. And it's going to be hit down by Taylor. That's going to be fair. The throw's going over to first base, but it's another error. So that allows the runner to move up to third on the play. Once again, Howick not doing the biggest of hits with it, but they're just putting it in play and just putting a little bit of pressure on these Ramblers. And right now, it's continuing to work.
Yep.
So Ramblers are actually going to call time out here and have a quick chat. Try to maybe settle some nerves. As Howick, once again, find themselves with runners on 1 and 3. And looking to build some more with Sky Martin, the third baseman, in the box. None down here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bunt being dropped down right now, just with the way the ball is moving.
Sure enough, she squares and she gets it. It's going to sit perfectly down the third base line. Muldrin comes up throwing to get the out. And the runner was looking aggressively at third to score on the play, but she couldn't quite get it done with the placement of that bunt. So she's forced to go back on the throw over from 1 to 3. But the runner does move from first to second on that play. So now Howick with runners at 2 and 3 and 1 down. Interested to see there that the bunt was called, but not in a squeeze sense, and that that runner wasn't flying.
You know, that runner just saw Lisa right there. She was right there on that line. It's really hard to even try to get around her. You know, all Lisa has to do is stick her glove out. So that was pretty tricky. But at the same time, I don't know if Lisa checked back at her. So
no, we'll have to see.
Probably could have gotten away with it.
As Greenaway has taken 2 hacks and 2 misses, so she's down behind 0-2. I mean, that is one of those unfortunate ones where the bunt was a great bunt.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, but unfortunately it's on that as Greenaway strikes out. Going down that third base line, that can sometimes freeze the runner because that's where they want to be, and you don't want to be there. So now Howick has 2 down. That's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Olivia Dixon, who has a big chance to play hero here late in the game with 2 runners on. And she will hack at that first one, and it'll foul off into the back of the net.
We hear Lisa yelling up, so I'm sure they're assuming that there's going to be a bunt at some point. So that's good that they're on their toes, expecting for a bunt.
And that's it. They're expecting anything. This Howick lineup has been doing anything and everything at once. And that one's going to be called. That's right on the knees, and Dixon is a little bit surprised by the call. So Morrison's turn to feel a little bit of satisfaction from the umpires. And now she's ahead 0-2. And she won't get that one, even though she walked away.
She was ready for that one.
She thought she had it, but umpire's going to disagree, and she's going to walk back to the mound after a good 3 or 4 steps towards the dugout.
You know, sometimes as a pitcher, you want to have that confidence, you know, because sometimes that does, believe it or not, that does have an influence on the umpire sometimes. Definitely.
And that one's going to be just a little bit low, although it reminds me of a strike I saw not too long ago. So that's going to make it 2-2. And Morrison will get Dixon swinging. So Howick managed to claw back 1 run in this inning. That pushes their lead to 8-6, but Ramblers here with a chance to reply. And we'll catch you after the break for that reply. Righto, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute doozy on our hands here as we move into the bottom of the 6th. Ramblers trailing in this one 6-8 against a very scrappy, very formidable Howick side. But they've got a chance here with a runner at 3. And so looking to bring that one across for them. Leading off is, if I look at my notes and I learn how to read, Leilani Andrew. And that one's going to be taken high. And it looks like Ramblers going to continue their pinch hitting with Zoe Tolhoff on the on-deck circle. So Ramblers know time is short, and this is the time to strike.
Yep.
And Andrew will take a hack at that one, but it'll go straight back into the back of the net. Count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. And it's going to be a change-up that Andrew grounds over to the first base. And the runner over at third base, doesn't go on the play, which has Coach McAlpine a little bit disappointed, a little bit bending in the knees.
You can tell she knows she messed up in that situation. It's just that first baseman wasn't even glancing at her.
So unfortunately, that means the Ramblers don't score on that play, and now they've lost an out. And sure enough, into the batter's box and taking that first strike is the pinch hitter, number 4, Zoe Tolhoff. And another changeup from Stachowski to keep them all on their toes. And sure enough, it'll work. 0-2's the count now.
Yeah, you could tell she has that flip changeup where you see her doing the flip motion, but that ball is just coming in so slow, and the spin on it is just crazy.
And it must be especially hard as a pinch hitter to come in, and
you
haven't seen too much, and then suddenly you're getting that midway through your count. Oh, lordy.
Good thing is, too, is she's keeping it low, and throughout the game you saw that she was keeping it pretty high, and they were pretty much getting on top of it and getting base hits, so it's a good thing that she's making the adjustment with throwing it low. Oh. And
once again, they'll use the changeup. It'll be popped over to first base, and the runner does go this time after that ground ball is hit over to the right side of the field. So Ramblers do manage to claw one back, but unfortunately with that runner at 3 to start the inning, it took them 2 outs to get it. So now they need to get one more run here to tie up this ball game, and they're on 2 outs to do it. And taking a strike for that one is the number 9 hitter and second baseman, Nelia Fanguna. If she can manage to get on base, she does bring up the top of that order, and we all know who's up there with the likes of Stockford, Goda, and Nuku all to come. But she'll swing at that changeup, and Stachowski is just bringing that thing whenever she wants, and it is working. Fanguna sits up, looking to just make some contact here. And that pitch is going to be low. Moves the count to 1-2.
I think it's really cool. So speaking from a player experience, every team in this league, every pitcher that has a changeup, we all have different changeups. And it's just crazy to see the amount of different spin and speeds on the ball that we see.
That one's fouled off. Keeps count at 1 and 2. That's it. And because they've all got so much different spins and different movements, they're all used at completely different times and in completely different ways. Some people like to use it to try and chase the strikeout. Others like to use it early to try and get batters off guard.
Yep.
You never quite know when they're going to come. And right now, they're coming thick and fast, and they are keeping these Ramblers batters on their toes. As Stochowski tries another one. Unfortunately, this one drops off the plate, and that'll move the count to 2 and 2.
At the same time, though, as a hitter, you know, you got to look at the success that she's had with the past couple of batters in the changeup. You got to expect all the time that she's going to throw a changeup and then just react to any other pitch.
And Whanguna will swing and a miss. So that'll retire the side. And Ramblers managed to get one across, but they can't get another. So Howick leads the game 8-7. We'll be back as this game moves to top of the 7. There's that ball game. That's ball game, ladies and gentlemen. So Howick will run away with this one, 8-7, after some scrappy hitting, some scrappy running, and just some scrappy change-ups as well to throw in there. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. I'm Broden Nucky. It was a pleasure to be joined by Stephanie Teixeira. And if you want to stick around, up next is Waitakere Bears versus the scrappy Howick side. And hopefully the home team can come out with a win.
Should be another interesting game.
Fingers crossed.